my name's Dr. Jenny Anaker, and I'm the owner of Anaker Clinics of Chiropractic. Welcome back to our videos. In our videos, there's always 3 platforms. We're looking to give you wellness tips, answer chiropractic questions, as well as give you a little insight into some of the things that I do for my own healthcare. So today's topics is rhythms and rituals. This time of year, we're heading more into fall. Kids are now back to school, and we're starting to get refocused again. What are the things that we need to put in our schedule or take out of our schedule? How do we have an efficient day even when we're leading busy lives? So we're all kind of getting back on track. So I wanted to dive into a couple of different topics within that, so that way you could reflect on your own life and say, hey, you know what, we need to, add or subtract a few things in, a different category here or there. So, and then also as you're doing rhythms and rituals, although for some people who aren't used to being so scheduled, and they might feel like, oh my gosh, this is, more scheduling and more, I don't have freedom to be have more spontaneity. I will tell you, you will find the more that you have these key chunk things, I'll call them, scheduled into your day, the greater satisfaction you'll have about really being in a good flow of things, getting the things you want done. But also outside of that, you've scheduled the times where you need to be on or have things in sync for your day, that really allows you to have more simplicity, to be able to do the other things that you want to do that maybe are more spontaneous in your life. So we're going to dive into a couple of topics here. Number one is obviously family. Every family is different, whether you're married, children at home, younger ages, older ages, etc. Of course, there's, making sure that you're spending time as a family. So maybe that's scheduling out vacations or times away, what you're going to do for the holidays. I think that there is something that's so important about whether it's one night, all nights, is really to sit down and have a family meal. I think that's where a lot of the conversations and discussions come up from what's going on, in a child's life and an adult life. So it's really a nice time to come together. And then we always all talk about as couples thinking about date night. And so certainly having that on your calendar. Is it once a month? Who, dad or mom, who schedules the babysitter, having all that squared away and just knowing, hey, if it's every Friday on our calendar or once a month, certainly you can also transpire that into kids having date nights with them, but really having that special one-on-one time can really enhance a relationship. In fact, the other day I heard, it was a chiropractor that was talking about not only does he have date night with his wife, he also has coffee time. Because he found that during our date night, all we were talking about is what are the schedules, what are the kids doing, when are we coming and going, and he wasn't fully able to really just sit back and enjoy his wife on a date night. So they also have a coffee night or a coffee day where they can kind of sit down and do that coming and going type scheduling. And certainly thinking about things like, maybe you have, like I do, I have family that lives far away. So I try to get into rhythms and rituals as far as maybe it's a birthday card or a certain rhythm with phone calls to my grandparents or parents to make sure that, every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, every couple of months that I'm staying in that relationship, even when they live far away. The next one is friends. I mean, certainly we can get in the hustle bustle of the day and look back and go, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great if I had some girl time or some guy time? So maybe it's once a month, maybe it's every couple of months. I know I like to go out for brunch with my friends once a month. And so that's just kind of a set thing in our calendar. And that can also help you to have, time away from all the other things to be able to really revitalize yourself. Next one is spiritual. That might be rhythms, thinking about, for some people, it's, how often they're attending church or, are they out in nature? Are they, finding ways to get spiritual alignment? Obviously, that's always different for everyone. But I think that time away to be able to listen to where you're really drawn to be, or, if it's on a religious sense where God is leading you, I think that's so important to step back from our lives. Food prep. The next one. Food prep you can do weekly. I like to do a month. I've gone into other videos about that. Certainly if you stop and think about it, you probably, eat the same 15, 20 things in your repertoire of food. And so just kind of dialing that in, there's nothing I hate more than the question, what's for dinner tonight? So it's nice to have that scheduled away. It makes it easier when you're doing food planning for grocery lists, etc. You know what you're going to have that week. So you're not also overspending and overbuying. Certainly, just leads for less things that you have to think about on a meal plan level. The next one is exercise. You know, I had, just like everybody else, I had kind of gotten off of the level of exercise that I wanted to do. To get back into it, I just started to do these short walks on a daily, every other day basis, which then, you know how it is, then it catapults into, then I started spinning or jumping rope, doing more high intensity things. But, starting out with something simple, something attainable, going on that 4 or 5 block walk down and back, something simple to start it off, or just kind of reassessing to say, okay, where can I put this in, and really just make it an appointment on your calendar, so that way it's staying consistent. Also routines, the routine of when you wake up, the routine of when you go to bed. Certainly some examples of when you wake up is to have a great glass of water with lemon in it. That can just get you've fasted for X number of hours. It's a great way to really warm up your digestive system. Some people like to start off and read or prayer, or maybe you feel the hustle bustle. First thing when I wake up, I just, say a prayer for my day, pray over my body, pray for my patients. You might have your own routine, but there's certainly these little pieces that you can put into your day. Now, as you're going to bed, there's a lot of great routines, whether it be to turn down the lights a little bit, to, read instead of be on your tablet, maybe to have a book reading, that getting the electronics off at least an hour, if not 2 hours ahead of when you go to bed, will start to get your body's melatonin to be ready to go to bed. Some people will take a bath or shower, cooling down the temperature of the house. Those are all great things for bedtime routines. And then the last one I think is so important in our society. We're go, 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 busy, busy schedule. We're on a lot, so we need that off time. What does your downtime look like? Is it, again, getting out in nature, spending time reading? Maybe it's even just taking 20 deep breaths in and out that can just help to lower your cortisol, and it'll even give you more energy to help to better balance out your nervous system. And then I love the practice of gratitude. Before you go to bed at night, say it to yourself, write it down, say it to your partner. What are 3 things that you're grateful for? And that can really give you great perspective on all the blessings that are in your life. So I hope you found this helpful as you're getting into more of a schedule and a routine as we're heading into fall. Stop, think about, maybe just take a little assessment of some of these categories or other categories that you've thought of, and really start to implement some things that you have scheduled out so you can create more simplicity in your life.